Well, it appears I have a couple more views on the last video than I expected. I figure that I might as well put something together to keep a more consistent video schedule going than what I've been doing recently to kind of get the snowball rolling, you know? Just give me a few minutes first, okay? Like 10, 15 minutes, and just, you know. Just couple. Well, welcome back everyone to SGS. I'm Max, Slayer, kind of why it's called SGS. Anyway, thank you so much for the support on the previous video. That was insane. I had no clue that I would pull over a K in 3 days, and a week later I'm saying it twice as much. That's pretty good for someone with 25 subs and like 400 followers between all of my platforms. Wow. Anyway, thank you guys for that, and obviously continue sharing, liking, subscribing, all that smooth jazz. And as well as all that, check out my games. They're real products you can actually buy. Yeah, you know, they're usually linked in the description as well. My Game Crafter link. Anyway, to today's topic, small games. See, something as board game players and hobbyists that we often take for granted are how intimidating the big boxes can be. You know, your Gloomhavens and Doom the board games and what's a 4X game, like a big Euro game, Brass Birmingham or whatever. Not my style, but you get the idea. Big games that have a huge table presence. You're usually looking at a bunch of little figurines, big map. That kind of stuff can be awesome and have a really, really cool effect on people that play them. You feel like you're a part of something bigger, you know? But for a lot of people they're, you know, maybe not as well versed in the hobby or don't have the funds to drop $200 on a bunch of cards and plastic. Anyway, it might be a little bit, you know, intimidating to get into. So, I'm going to be going over some small games and why typically I get more enjoyment out of games that have a smaller footprint. Here, let me show you something. All the way down, you know, every other shelf, forgetting my my narcissism corner up here, is all big games. I got everything from Halo Flashpoint to Hero Quest to Betrayal at House on the Hill, Gloomhaven. This shelf right here, this is all smaller titles. These bad boys, it's at about eyeball height, specifically because I pull these out the most. So, what we're looking at here are an assortment of games that have both style and substance while being in a smaller package. If you notice, a lot of my titles are about the same size. Price range on these published works through larger companies range from, you know, $15 to $25. Getting more expensive as we go from right to left. You know, some Game Crafter releases all the way up to big published works. But all of them have that one factor in common. They're small games with a lot going on the inside.
It's bigger on the inside. Is it? I've noticed.
A surprising amount of things, even. A good example to kick us off is Desolate. It's a game that I actually talked about a couple years back now, made by a fantastic designer, Jason Glover. He does a lot of the kind of stuff that I like: role-playing, light games, dungeon crawlers, combat-focused games with deck building, dice. This is a fantastic example of that, and you can play this game in about 20 minutes or ignore it in 5. It's very snappy. There's a lot of fun elements to keep it unique each time you play. And that's another thing that I tend to treat as a commonality between these smaller games: replayability. These games' cases, they're a bit more economical about it, oftentimes using things like random elements, smaller decks of cards, and interchangeable multi-use elements like different faces on dice, multi-use miniatures, etc., to make the games replayable on multiple runs, or to keep a single round going for longer than you'd expect. A good example of that is Gloomhaven, Buttons and Bugs. Now, Gloomhaven is a pretty big name in the board game world. It's a huge title with a big box tied to it. This is a solo dungeon crawler variant that comes with 6 characters that you can play as and choose between, all with very unique classes and types, a full 20 mission campaign, and a bunch of different monsters and cool unlockable abilities. Now, one playthrough will run you like 4 sessions if you play 2 or 3 games in each, maybe a little more. And that's 6 playthroughs if you do it with each character. So time is pretty you get the idea. You get a lot of bang for your buck. Now, 2 particular titles I have in the Mint 10 category are games by, I'm gonna butcher this name, Alexei Aprin. Aprin? It's European, I don't know. Deck 52. There's a space and an apocalypse version, and what they are decks of 52 cards that act as kind of a roguelike-esque dungeon crawler experience that have you completing missions, going on adventures, and picking up and using interesting items along the way. Both of them have their own unique methods of showing your statuses and inventory, which is one of my personal favorite methods: sliding one card over another. One that has a tracking number stack on it that shows you how many health points or hunger or stamina, whatever you have, and another card on top with some information. It's usually a reference card telling you what you can and can't do on your turn. A lot of these games I have in this stack are solo, with the exception of Mind Burners, Hunted, this little guy right here, Deck Box Dungeon, although I see that as kind of cheating for a small game because it runs off a phone app. This guy, Token Terrors, which is a killer chess-like experience. Radlands, which is a trading card game style experience. They have a tournament style, competitive setup, the kind of thing you'd expect in Yu-Gi-Oh!
You wanna see somebody flip up your table? Joe, you wanna see that?
Or something similar, but it's all packed into one box, and it's very tightly balanced. This game is Killer, which is a social deduction game. This one's themed around Alien. And Here to Slay, which is a fantastic little card game, all about collecting different characters and building up a party to fight big monsters before your other players at the table can gain victory points. All these games are fantastic examples. Also are my own. I really think you can equate all of my titles as small games. I have one Mint Tin game, Tiny Tin Tactics, and this is a tactical game about, well, obviously, about fighting your way through rooms of enemies, using a variety of guns and unique items. Roguewood, a game that I'm currently working on a sequel for, is only 15 cards, and yet it's my best seller and one of the most highly replayed, at least by the metrics of a couple of happy emails. The Midnight Ritual follows a similar structure to Roguewood, but a completely different playstyle. And then you got Exfil and Decked. This one, though, which I almost forgot about, is Des. I haven't made this game, publicly available in a while, at least shown it off, that is. But it's a dice game where you roll dice and your face results are pieces that you use like you would in chess. It's a fun little 2-player skirmish game. I'm showing all these off to give you an idea of the variety of games that you can have in such small packages. Just one deck of cards, just one set of dice, just a couple of little pieces. There is so much you can do with so little. I really hope that this recent indie boom in board games with print and play, print on demand, and accessible options that are available through online acquisition made by small self-publishing developers like myself. I really hope that opens people's minds up a bit more to treating these things as fun experiences that they don't have to be afraid to collect, to stack up on, to show other people and enjoy. Anyway, that's my thesis statement. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video, and I really, really hope you guys check out the stuff I've made as well. Now, all that being said, I'm gonna get going. I've got to work on Ruins of Roguewood and another thing that I'm not going to talk about yet. Later.